Hey guys, it's Greg with By the Bootstraps, btbootstraps.com. Making a video today because on my way to work they were talking about our Democratic House here in Minnesota has passed a bill. It hasn't gone through in the Senate, so it's not signed, but they passed a bill basically saying they're going to allow illegal aliens to get driver's license in the state of Minnesota. You know, then when I get to work, I start checking the news, in between calls and stuff like that, and I see that Cory Booker has introduced legislation into the Senate for reparations. You know, I can't help but sit back and just wonder what the hell is going on. You know, I've heard reparations come several times, but now it's just pathetic pandering. The same thing with the driver's license for illegals. You're illegal. You don't belong in America. You don't belong in any country except your country of origin, wherever that country of origin might be. Instead of placating for votes, and making it more of a burden on American taxpayers, I mean, particularly in our state of Minnesota, where we're one of the highest tax states in the nation, when those people go into the DMV to get their licenses that they don't deserve, that they can't prove who they are, they ought to be rounded up on the spot and sent back. And not only should they be rounded up at the DMV or whatever location they go to, but you should also be going to wherever their place of residence are. Treat them kindly, treat them fair, give them what they want actually, but then let them go. And then once they've given you the information, you send ICE over there. Because if there's one, there's probably more. That'd clean this up really quickly. Of course, they would stop going to the DMV, but hey, they shouldn't be getting licenses illegally for being illegal citizens. Well, they're not even citizens. They're just illegal aliens. They're not undocumented workers. They're trespassers. You wouldn't allow anyone in your home to do the same thing, to just come into your home unannounced, uninvited, and stay indefinitely and pay for it. But that's precisely what we're doing. And I'm all for immigration. I'm all for legal immigration. The more the merrier. Legally. I think that's the main difference that everyone has been screaming about for years and years, particularly with Trump and his border wall and things like that. I don't know one person, I don't know this giant racist country that they keep trying to portray Trump supporters as. I've not seen it. But I've seen a lot of them say the same things that I'm saying. Hey, come on in. Bring your talents. Bring your knowledge. Bring your culture. But adapt to our culture and accept our laws and do it legally and pay for yourself and don't be a burden to others. Then we will gladly accept you. Accept our way of life and our culture. Don't expect us to change our culture because you want to come here. I would not go to Japan or Korea or China or Russia or anywhere else and expect them to adopt and to adapt to my way of living. I adapt to theirs. Just like if I go over there, I'm going to damn well learn the language. And I'm not going to expect an interpreter to be there for me at all government official activities. That's my responsibility to learn that language and to learn how to read it, write it, and make sure that I can communicate in an effective manner, as opposed to pointing at signs, Sorry, Paco, I don't know what uno means. I mean, I do, but I'm saying. But then I hear that Cory Booker introduces reparations. It just so happens that Cory Booker is running to be the presidential nomination, or president. He's running to be president. He's trying to get the nomination for the Democrat Party. This, and then of course Bernie Sanders is for it. Elizabeth Warren is for it. Kamala Harris is for it. That's right. We want to pay people who because their ancestors might have had something to do with slavery. We're not really sure. I mean, they're making a huge assumption that every African American, which I'm not, actually, fuck that. Every black person, every American is somehow related to a slave, or was a slave, or someone in their family was a slave. That might be true, but it also might not be. I mean, you're making a large assumption that every one of them has ties to slavery. But if you're going to go down this road of start taxing us even more to pay for people that, I hate to break it to you, but they have reparations. You know, we have done so much as a nation to give back and try to right the wrongs of slavery more so than any other nation in the world. And I hate to break it to you all you reparations want to give people. Why don't you go over to Africa right now and do something about the slavery that is going on right now? You know, are you going to blame the white men on that too? Tribe versus tribe, taking people, selling them to other tribes. It goes on right now. Same thing in India and places. Same thing in some of the other parts of the world. But we all turn a blind eye to it because we don't want to deal with it. But this nation has done more for African Americans, or black people, Africans. I mean, they're now Americans. If you were born in America, you're an American. You just so happen to be black. It's like you just so happen to be gay. You know, or Hispanic. You know, this is pandering. But if you're going to go down this route, okay, fine. Are you going to go then give reparations to the Native Americans? Since you stole, you know, since we as a nation stole their land, killed their people, forcibly removed them from their tribal lands, and pushed them onto reservations? I mean, granted, they can leave those reservations now, but it's part of their community. If you do that, are you going to give them reparations? Well, what about Irish people? Indentured servitudes. All those people came from Ireland during the 1700s, 1800s. What about all the Chinese people that came over during the gold rush into the West Coast in California? Are you going to give them reparations too? They were mistreated.
The Japanese.
You know, you got to give the Japanese people, thank you, you know, we put them in internment camps. And that was a hell of a lot more recent. I mean, you're talking about fairness. When does this insanity stop? But I know someone's going to make a comment, oh, you don't understand because you have white privilege. Excuse me? Everything I have, I've earned. I've worked my ass off for. This home that we have, that we live in, it wasn't given to us. My wife and I had to collectively sacrifice 9 years of our time, of our freedom, to serve this nation so that we could qualify for the VA loan. You know, just like I had to serve 4.5 years of my time so that I could go to school. Now granted, it was a trade-off that I willfully made. And I know that. Just like she knows that. But it wasn't free. Alright? That was not a privilege. No one walked over to me and handed me a college education. No, I had to go work my ass off to earn that. I was working full-time. Going to school full-time. Working part-time and raising a daughter. Oh, I guess that was just my privilege. All the cars that I purchased, I had to pay for. All the clothes that I have, I've had to pay for. You know, let me tell you about, racism. Some of the most racist people and hateful people I've ever met have been minorities. I grew up in the South. I've been beaten up by other kids who were a different ethnic background than me. Why? Because I was a white guy in the wrong neighborhood. Didn't do anything. Didn't start anything. I was minding my own business. But because I was a white guy in a black neighborhood, I've been beaten up. I've been threatened. I've had a gun pulled on me. I was in downtown Minneapolis. I mean, I was an adult at this point. 18, 19, 20 years old. I'm in downtown Minneapolis. I got a guy, for whatever reason, is threatening to kick my ass. I didn't do nothing to this guy. Never met him before. Don't know anything about him. Still don't know anything about him. But he came up to me when we were in a store, calling me all kind of names. Calling me a fucker, a white nigger. You know, and that's another funny thing. Oh, we can't say the N-word. Okay, fine. Stop using it yourself. You know, but I've been called all kind of names. I've been threatened multiple times. I've actually been physically assaulted. You know, but what I haven't seen is this overwhelming flow of discrimination and racism that they claim that we white people seem to have. And only have. Apparently it's only us. We are making your life unbearable. Oh, I'm sorry. I guess all that black on black violence in Chicago is just a myth. You know, you had a rapper just recently, Hustle, I think his name was, gunned down in LA. By what? Another gang. You know, it's funny. I don't hear country music stars or rock and roll stars or electronic music or bluegrass or Celtic or classical or anything else like that happening in those communities. Seems to be pretty predominant in one. I wonder what the connection is. You know, so all this crap. that that was in the news today. I mean, pathetic pandering. And it's actually insulting to other people, other ethnic groups. One, like the guys who legally came to America, that's kind of a giant slap in the face of them because they did it the right way. But then two, it's also a slap in the face of all the, all the African Americans who don't want anything to do with this. They find it insulting. They see it as pandering. And they don't, you'd be surprised how many of them don't want people's help because they're proud. They have, their own confidence, their own self-esteem. They don't want a handout, especially if it's just something that was thrown in the law. They see it for what it is. We all do. And these people ought to be ashamed of themselves. But more importantly, nothing's stopping these multi-million-dollar politicians from opening up their paychecks and start handing out cash. But instead, they want to forcibly take it from us. That's fair. In the meantime, I still have to work my ass off just to have what I have that was never given to me, and it's certainly because it's so freaking privilege. Nothing stopping you, bro. Comment below, let me know what you guys think. I'll talk to you later.